Hey guys, it's Sarah again. I wanted to go ahead and make a little Disney video for you guys. Disney is one of my favorite things in the entire world, and I know it's been really gaining popularity recently. So I wanted to share a kind of a quick video on something that people overlook, I think, a lot of times when they go to Disney, which is what shoes to bring, what shoes to wear when you are in the parks. A little bit of backstory: I have spent a lot of time on Disney property. I grew up going to Disney World about every 2 years or so, give or take. I also took a trip with my best friend for a week to Disney World, and I now live in Southern California, so Disneyland is only about an hour away from me. So I have gone to every park in Florida, and I've gone to the two parks here in California quite a few times. So this video is just kind of a quick tidbit on what shoes to wear to the parks, because it makes a huge difference. So anyone that has been to an amusement park knows that, you should wear comfortable shoes when you go to the parks. It really honestly does make or break the entire atmosphere. If your feet hurt, you are not going to have a good time. So after years of trying everything out there, I have narrowed it down to a few things that work. I think this would work for anyone. This is just, my personal opinion though. So the first thing that I kind of take into account is weather. So here in Southern California, it hardly ever rains. It's very, very rare. So when I'm picking shoes, I don't have to worry about it raining. That's not really something that kind of, goes through my mind. Now in Florida, I feel like your footwear is going to be a little bit different, because in Florida it rains like every day, and it rains multiple times a day. So that can be a little bit different. So like when I go to Disney World, I always bring at least 3 pairs of shoes with me to rotate, and one of those is going to be a pair of shoes that is either waterproof or is okay to get wet. They can kind of get ruined a little bit. They're like my Disney shoes, that's fine. But these are just kind of in general. So the first pair of shoes I'm going to bring out is just, this kind of represents any like athletic footwear that you would bring. So this is just a pair of Asics. This is the Gel Kinsey 4 Kinsey. These are pretty old. These are like 5 or 10 years old. I actually bought them used on Poshmark. I just thought they were really cute. But these are, I think, everybody's kind of first choice, or if they've never been to a Disney park before, they think, oh, I'm just going to wear my Nikes, I'm going to wear my Adidas, my Puma, my Asics, whatever brand you're thinking about bringing. And nowadays I feel like this style of like having a little bit of a heel and a little bit of cushion right here, overall I think this is probably your safest bet, as long as you've worn the shoes before, they're not too big or too small. However, I feel like when I wear shoes like this to Disney, I feel like my feet hurt a little bit sooner. So while this is a great overall pick, it's a really good like safety net pick, I do think there are some other better fits. The second pair of shoes that I have are just a pair of really cute like sneaker sort of shoes, and these are actually, I'll just use one to kind of demonstrate. These are actually Reef brand, so you can get these in a lot of like surfing areas. So you can get these really anywhere along the west and probably east coast. I'm not as familiar with the east coast, but the Reef brand you can also find at like Marshall's, TJ Maxx, stores like that, and you can find them like at Kohl's, and then a lot of like bigger department stores. The Reef shoes are famous for their like cushiony sole. So this is really soft. It's almost like a foam padding sort of insole, and these are, in my opinion, these are better than wearing athletic shoes. And the reasoning behind that is these can get wet, And the nice thing about this is, like in Florida, if you bring socks, you know, you can wear socks with these, and then if it rains and your socks are soaking wet, you can take them off, and this material is meant to get wet. It's okay. Whereas athletic shoes, like tennis shoes, aren't really like that. You just have soggy feet for the rest of the day. So I think these are a really good pick. They're really cute. They go with everything. And Reef has a bunch of different pairs. You can find them really cheap at Marshalls and TJ Maxx. My next pick is sandals, and this is more of, I've worn these more to the Florida parks, and these are Me Too sandals. So a mistake that I think a lot of people make the first time they go to a Disney park, especially if it's really hot out, is they think, oh, I'm going to wear sandals, it's hot. So I see a lot of people wearing flip-flops, a lot of people wearing like really thin shoes that have no support. That is a big no-no. I made that mistake one time. I think I was in middle school, maybe high school. I think it was middle school. And I wore a pair of those really thin Hollister leather like flip-flops. My feet have never hurt worse in my life, and I've worked in a restaurant for 6 years. So all of the years that my feet got banged up when I was working in a restaurant were nothing compared to that one night at Disney World where I wore the wrong pair of shoes. So, and there are some people that go to Disney all the time, and, you know, they really like wearing sandals. They really like wearing flip-flops. Personally, I feel like that offers you absolutely no support. So for these, the Me Too brand, all of their shoes, whether it's like sandals, flats, whatever, is really cushy. So it actually keeps my fingerprint. I don't know if you can see that. But when you push down, it retains that shape. There's like foam underneath. And so these are awesome for especially Florida. So if it rains, it's still okay. They're not like waterproof or anything, but I wore these in the Cali River Rapids. I don't know if anybody's ever rode that ride. You get soaked head to toe, and they were fine. They do have a little bit of peeling and everything, but any shoes that are Me Too, that are sandals, are going to offer you more support than like the Old Navy flip-flops, than any of those like flimsy, just like cheap flip-flops. So I would really recommend anything by Me Too. When I went with my best friend to Disney World, she had a pair of these too, and we wore, she had it was a totally different style, but it's by the same brand, so they have the cushy, like, insole, and we wore them all week, and we didn't have any issues. You can get these at department stores, but I would recommend getting them at Marshalls or TJ Maxx. So now is the official shoe that I think is the best pair of shoes to wear to a Disney park. Now this is slanted a little bit more towards California because it's not taking rain into account. So this is a good shoe to wear when it's not going to rain in Florida, or if it's like light rain. And to Disneyland, in my opinion, this is the best pair of shoes. And that is Vans, which is very fitting here in Southern California. So the first pair, I have two pairs that I'm going to use as an example. I own a lot of pairs of Vans though. Are the Authentic Low Pros, and these are kind of, they're similar to Keds. This pair is more what I see women wearing when I see women wearing Vans. They're super lightweight, very thin, like the bottom is like maybe, you know, an inch. These do just fine. They kind of remind me a little bit of the Reef shoe. They just, they are like a normal tennis shoe on the inside. They're really soft on the bottom for them being just like a canvas shoe. But these are a little bit, like when you wear them as long as you will at Disney, they get to the point where you can kind of feel the ground through them. And that's, I mean, that's for these shoes too. Those are for sandals, whatever. These would be my like second to top pick for Disney. My top pick is also Vans, which is why I said my top pick. These are actually the like original authentic, and this is actually a pair of boys shoes, and that sounds crazy. These are wider and they have a thicker base, so there's more cushion, but they're also wider, so your foot has more room to go. Whereas the authentic low pros, they're thinner and they just don't offer quite as much support, and a lot of times you'll feel your toes on the outside like rub it against it. These, my feet have plenty of room. I don't have super wide feet, but these are so these are a men's size 6. So for women's, they're 7.5. I wear like a size 6 or 6.5. So for Disney, I wear Vans that are like a size and a half too big. I wear them with socks, or even with like the no-show socks. And I swear this is crazy, because I never thought I'd say this for how much I go to Disney, and my feet always end up hurting at least a little bit. My feet do not hurt in these. I don't know if it's just luck, but I honestly think it's the shoe. So I wear these now almost any time that I go to Disney, especially in California. I don't have to pack to go because I live here, so I can just, and they match everything, they're black, but I don't have to think of, like, if I'm going to Florida, I want to have more than one pair of shoes to wear for a week. So I swear these are the nicest shoes for Disney. They're not really nice, they're the best shoes for Disney. They're so comfy, there's support, your foot can move around, they can breathe a little bit, but it just, even if you're like standing in really long lines, they offer just the comfort that's not with athletic shoes even. They just don't wear down, I feel like. When you are at the parks, you always feel like you just put them on. So that's really awesome. If you do have sensitive feet or feet that hurt very fast, like I said, I worked in a restaurant for a long time, so I'm used to my feet hurting. Even though that was quite a few years ago, I still am used to it. But if your feet are a little bit more sensitive, it's also a really good tip if somebody in your party does have like a big backpack or something, or a large purse, to bring a second pair of shoes to change into, because that helps tremendously. You wouldn't think so, but going from like, even I've brought sandals before, like even if you go from sandals to something like this or vice versa, it does a world of difference. Your feet will feel completely refreshed. So that's another tip as well. So I hope you guys like this video. I absolutely love Disney, so I'll definitely be uploading more Disney videos and Disney tips and things like that. Please subscribe and comment if you have any questions on anything. Bye!